Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Today I'm playing as the Commune of France, and, the new doctrine system got added, and I really enjoy Kaiserredux, and I wanted to play an armor game. I don't usually do that, So this time I decided to go really heavy into armor, and, I think I really enjoyed it overall, In single player, I think you just really need to go for a lot of soft attack, like as much soft attack as possible when you're making your tanks. And that's really what I did. This whole time I was just kind of sending the tanks around to try and build up like army XP and stuff. XP isn't as useful as it used to be. I don't know if you make more or less now. Just because you don't need them as much to complete all the doctrines, it's all about mastery now. And that's also what you want to do, you want to get as much mastery as possible. This was a pretty fun game overall, I think, I thought it was a little too easy. I think next time I play in Kaiserredux, I'm definitely gonna up the difficulty depending on who I'm playing. Especially if you're playing a major power, because this was just, it was pretty crazy. Also, they give you a lot of speed buffs as well. A lot of the doctrines and a lot of the bonuses just kind of come from these smaller focuses they give you. Like, they give you like extra little advisors or generic advisors, and a good few of those are speed. And a lot of the sub-doctrines give you speed buffs as well. So I went mobile infantry with this, and then I kind of forget what I did for my armor sub-doctrine. We'll see that in just a second probably, but I think the best part about that was it gave you a lot of org on your mechanized and motorized, so you wouldn't need to have as much of that in your tank divisions when you finally do make them. Like, you could make more of them with tanks, but also it does lower your HP, which isn't good, even if it does increase your org a lot. So I think if they wanted to buff that, they should also just maybe slightly buff the HP to the divisions with that. But you see me going around just sending volunteers to all of these wars and stuff, trying to get as many encirclements as I can. I started out with like light tanks and stuff in my divisions, but I move on to medium tanks pretty quickly just because, that's there I am designing one right now. I don't know if that's a good design or not. I kept the reliability pretty high, just because I have a lot smaller industry than Germany. And the Russia of this game was a pretty strong Russia, and even though I end up fighting them, they were doing pretty well against Germany. So I think next game, if I do play as the Commune of France or another major power, I'll buff my enemies. But it was really fun overall. The tanks are really fast. It's really fun to get encirclements with them. I kind of forgot how quickly they can move just because I usually play with just infantry and special forces, because a lot of the past games I've been playing out in China and stuff. And I've just been using that sort of strategy. Let's see here. Yeah, it was a little frustrating that I wasn't able to send volunteers to the Italians just because I wasn't a part of their little civil war thing. They were already part of my faction, so I couldn't send volunteers to them. So I just sent them 10,000 guns and an attaché. Even without my help, the syndicalists over in America were doing pretty good. So by the time, I get done with that war, and I eventually do start looking at sending volunteers over there, and they're already doing pretty well for themselves, And the Canadians never intervened in the Civil War either, even though they probably should have. They're able to take over the federal government, and like the Black Revolt succeeded in the South, so that's all good as well. And then I think there are also communists in the Pacific States of America as well. Yeah, and that ends very quickly. But then I send them back over because they go back to war with them. And I choose Deep Battle because it gives you a lot of org to your tanks. But I was watching a video recently about why that, even though you can get a ton of org on your medium tanks and stuff, is that it might not be that good just because tanks don't have a lot of HP, and I didn't even think about that when I was designing my divisions. I didn't really make them so few motorized that started to become a problem, but I was thinking about like having an almost entirely armored division, and I didn't even think about that, But I'd say you can definitely make your armored divisions a lot more armor leaning now. You don't need to have as much mechanized or motorized them. You probably only need to have like 4 or 5 brigades just to get the HP up, because you'll have such high soft attack. The battle will probably only last a couple of days at most. Sorry. I have a bit of a cold right now. Let's see here. I don't know. Yeah, the first part of the war, that was the only real part where I had a stalemate going on. I just tried to encircle the Germans in Belgium and stuff. And once I had gotten finished with that, it was pretty easy, you know. I just had to make sure that I was able to push through, get another encirclement there as well. I don't think the AI really knows how to make tank divisions or anything like that, or good tanks. I mean, I didn't have any air up either at this point in the war, so it shouldn't have been that hard, really. You know, I thought they would have done a lot better, but, you know, they didn't. And it was pretty quick. It was pretty quick overall. I do have a lot more trouble with Russia, though. But I go through again all my MIOs. I think the best thing people should do with their MIOs is just get the production stuff early in the game, and then by the time you go to war, just start getting all the soft attack and hard attack bonuses and all the other stuff, really. That's really my only recommendation for an MIO. I would prefer an MIO with production stats to one with just raw stats, because, I mean, it's good to stack bonuses in a single player, but you don't need that many, you know, unless you're playing multiplayer, of course. You know, I played a couple multiplayer games, but I'm not big into multiplayer at all, really. So most of my videos will just be single player. And most of it will be mods like Kaiserredux. I really do enjoy that a lot more than the base game, I think. But you see me going through here, just mopping up what's left of the Reichspakt and the Austrians and stuff. I'm trying to make some nice borders out here. Over in America, the Canadians, I think, go to war with the Americans, which does not end up well for them, over the New England stuff. So, while this is happening, that's going on over in America. I think the Japanese totally dominate Asia this game, just because the Reichspakt isn't there to really stop them at all. Yeah, make a big encirclement on Poland. The Lithuanians, even though they had their revolt, they're neutral overall. And I choose these guys when the election does come around. I choose yellow syndicalists, which is why the party popularity thing turns yellow. I guess they're like social democrats or something. They're based off of, I think, yellow communist or yellow socialist, which were people that like wanted like class collaborationism and that sort of thing. Let's see here. Other than that, I think it just took so long to beat Russia just because it's such a large country. You know, I got quite a few encirclements at the beginning of the war. I mean, they outnumbered me at the beginning by quite a lot. You know, a lot of my allies were busy doing other stuff. But, you know, I just kind of started trying to push through. And once you do get a breakthrough, you know, they kind of overrun a lot of the time the AI is, and they don't really know how to set up a fallback line to really recover until you stop kind of pushing. And yeah, we eventually did go to war with the Entente. We go to war very late with the Entente. They should have probably been at war with us in 1940, but I think we go to war with the Germans pretty early. But it's 1941, and we already have, you know, all this stuff on. We already have basically all of Europe, you know. We just start cleaning up the Russians here. Reorganizing the navies, that way I can start convoy raiding, make sure I don't get convoy raided. Other than that, really, I start making the armor divisions even more heavy into armor. I create my improved medium tank and stuff. And I start putting out the submarines, and I get a lot of convoys down with this. I think the French are sending a lot of troops overseas back from America and stuff. I think the hardest part about playing in Russia is that you want to make sure you get as many supply hubs as possible, because after a while it gets really really hard for supply. Oh yeah, there they go. They're at war with them now. I think for my next game, I think I want to strengthen the Germans a little bit. I think I want to strengthen the Entente. And I think I want to play as the Syndicalists over in America. Let me know if y'all want me to do that. Other than that, I don't really have any other ideas for a next game, really. I enjoyed this game overall, though. It might have been a little too easy, you know, as I said earlier. But, I enjoyed doing the armor thing. I enjoyed working with the new armor sub-doctrines. Maybe if I play the Syndicates of America, I'll focus on air doctrines and stuff. And then I set up, an Algerian puppet here. You know, the whole Algerian War, I watched the Battle of Algiers recently. It was really interesting, really fascinating. And I think I set up, like, a French puppet state here, basically. But other than that, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe, and have a great day. So, thanks. Bye-bye.